Welcome to our CFP Exam Prep podcast. Today, we're diving into a crucial aspect of the CFP certification that many candidates overlook while preparing for the exam: understanding the continuing education requirements for CFP professionals. Let's break down the fundamental requirement. CFP professionals must complete 30 hours of continuing education every 2 years to maintain their certification. These hours are split into specific categories that ensure well rounded professional development. The most critical component is the ethics requirement. 2 of these 30 hours must focus on ethics training. This isn't just about checking a box. The ethics requirement reflects the CFP Board's commitment to maintaining high professional standards and protecting client interests. When studying for the ethics portion of your exam, remember that questions often center around identifying ethical violations and proper responses to ethical dilemmas. A common mistake students make on the exam is confusing the timing requirements. The 2 year period begins on the first day of the month following initial certification. For example, if you become certified in May 2023, your first CE reporting period would begin June 1st, 2023. Many candidates incorrectly assume it starts immediately upon certification. The CE hours are divided into categories that align with the principal knowledge topics tested on the CFP exam. These include investment planning, tax planning, retirement planning, estate planning, insurance planning, and general financial planning. When studying this topic, focus on understanding how these categories integrate with real-world practice. Here's a practical example that often appears on the exam. Consider a scenario where a CFP professional completes 28 hours of CE in investment planning, but no ethics training. Even though they exceeded the total hour requirement, they would still be non-compliant because they missed the mandatory ethics component. This type of question tests your understanding of both the quantitative and qualitative aspects of CE requirements. Another frequent exam trap involves carryover hours. The CFP board does not allow CE hours to carry over from one reporting period to the next. Students often miss questions about this, assuming that excess hours can be applied to future periods, similar to other professional certifications. The CFP board accepts various forms of CE activities, including live programs, self-study programs, and presenting or teaching approved CE programs. However, be careful with questions about teaching credits. While teaching an approved CE course can count toward your requirements, you can only claim credit for teaching the same course once during each reporting period. Understanding the consequences of non-compliance is equally important for the exam. Failure to complete CE requirements can result in automatic suspension of CFP certification. The board typically provides a 1-month grace period, but questions about this often trip up test takers who assume longer grace periods. Remember that the CFP board randomly audits certificates for CE compliance. When studying this topic, pay attention to the documentation requirements. All CE activities must be reported through the CFP board's online tracking system, and professionals must maintain records for 2 years after the end of each reporting period. These continuing education requirements reflect the dynamic nature of financial planning and the importance of staying current in the profession. As you prepare for the exam, focus on understanding not just the numbers, but the underlying purpose of these requirements in maintaining professional competency and ethical standards.